My goodness, has it been a while since we did a market watch. But guys, welcome to another one. It's a Speed Duel market watch. I know I do these like once every month or once every other month because honestly nothing too much changes in the market. But I wanted to bring up an interesting point today. Everyone seems to be writing off Speed Duels ever since the Rush Duels got confirmed that the TCG patented the name, so chances are we're probably getting it now, and that people think that Speed Duels is gonna die based solely off of that. And that could be the thing. Konami hasn't been very good about promoting Speed Duels as they have their other stuff, especially Duel Links. I'm surprised Speed Duels didn't get the same promotions that Duel Links got, but I'm sure COVID didn't help with all of that. This would have been the year that they could have grand schemed, put some stuff together, put some side events at regionals, maybe had a national event for it, and it all got jacked because of COVID, so we haven't been able to do anything because of that. But I don't want to write Speed Duels off, and I understand Speed Duels does not have the popularity that something like Rush Duels probably will if it comes over here, because Rush Duels is so much more unique in how you play it and how it works, and also how the cards look. It's a new, fresh feeling. Speed Duels is kind of just rehashed old Yu-Gi-Oh!, which I still think is perfectly fine, but a lot of people, I don't know, change for most players is tough at first. Obviously, when we get a new master rule, everyone goes crazy, says they're going to quit the game or go back to GOAT format, and then most of the people end up getting used to it. Speed Duels, though, is a separate format, and I'm just surprised at the amount of non-popularity that this got out of the gate. Simply because it's a different format, it's not a different game, it's not changing the rules that you already know and love. If you love regular Yu-Gi-Oh!, you just keep playing regular Yu-Gi-Oh!, but you can also play this on the side. Or other people could, if they don't like current Yu-Gi-Oh! With the BS of, negate my board, break my board, decks, come over to this. This is old Yu-Gi-Oh! It's back and forth. It's a little bit different with the life points and no main phase 2. I'd argue it's simpler. But I think it's just, what turned people off initially was the fact that, you couldn't use the cards that existed already for the card pool. You had to buy stuff that had Speed Duels printed on it. And I get the frustration there, but guys, nothing in this game has ever exceeded $15 to $20. You look at regular Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're shelling out $500 per deck. Can you really complain when Speed Duels, if you want to make the best deck right now, it's maybe $100 max? And if you don't make the Parasite Paranoid deck, it's maybe $50 max? I don't see where the complaining comes from, but also, even right now, unless it's Parasite Paranoid deck, nothing in this game is above $10. Aside from, I guess, Floodgate Trap Hole, if you even play it. A lot of people don't. So, yeah, nothing's above $10, and it's... For a card pool where everything is under $10, that sounds like a hell of a game to me. This is why I think the Speed Duel box is going to sell like crazy, because instead of releasing cards in sets for something like this, where not a lot of money is to be made, so a lot of people aren't buying packs anyway, they'd just be buying the singles they'd get instead, it's better to have a living deck. And by a living deck, I mean what Konami is doing now, where they are releasing essentially the next expansion. You get every card in it right up front, and you can the game is pure skill based. It's almost like deck building games, where every now and then they release a new expansion. You get all the cards right in one box, and then it's the draft format and the thing forever. And you can draft in Speed Duels, but even if you don't, the whole point is you have everything available to you. If you buy 3 boxes, you get your playset. So Konami makes their money because they have to. It essentially forces you to buy at least 3. And unlike Duel Devastator, for something like regular Yu-Gi-Oh!, Duel Devastator is reprint a bunch of old stuff or tech stuff that you'll use to get yourself into Yu-Gi-Oh!, but it's not like the next set comes out and it's presented to you in one giant block. Here's everything. If you buy 3 of these blocks, you have a playset of everything. Go nuts. It's not that. So I think this box set, this Battle City box set, will go over tremendously. And I think this is the way they go about it in the future. They don't release the booster packs anymore. They just continue releasing decks or just these box sets. I'm okay with just these box sets. If you did these box sets 3 or 4 times a year, I'd argue 4 times a year, but 3 times I guess is sufficient. I think you'd be perfectly fine. I think the problem here is we don't get enough product in Speed Duels. We got the starter decks in May, I think it was. and now you're making us wait till December. It was originally November. I still think November's insane, but you're gonna make us wait till December now for the next wave of support? That's too long. I understand regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Has product releases every single month, except for this month because COVID, everything got pushed back. But that's beside the point. I know it's like every month. That's fine. If when Speed Duels was doing like these starter deck things where you'd get like, I think it's what, 40 or 50 new cards in those, and it was twice a year, that was too long. But if you do something like this new box set, it's like 200 cards, right? If you're gonna drop those, I'd say one per quarter, right? So 4 times a year. Every 3 months, drop another 200 card box set with new stuff, a few different reprints, these secret rare variants that you want to throw in. Like, I think that's perfectly fine. I think that's how you go about this format in the future, because it's purely skill-based. It needs to be purely skill-based. You don't need to be trying to maximize profits on making super awesome rarities of really bad cards in real life, like Sonic Bird, just to try to maximize your ability in Speed Duels to try to like make a profit. Like, Konami doesn't need to do that, and I'm glad that they recognized that with the Speed Duel box. You don't need, you will sell an ample amount of these boxes just by themselves as expansion packs for people to then dive into and do whatever they want with for their tournaments or for their prize support, etc. So I think this is the perfect setup for this. But there's something I wanted to touch on with Speed Duels that I've never brought up in a video before, and I think this needs to be addressed. Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel cards are unique in the sense of you can only play them in Speed Duels. They're the only cards you can play in Speed Duels. You can also play them in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! They have that extra bonus effect. It's not like they're locked into Speed Duels only. You can play them in real Yu-Gi-Oh! But they're the only cards you can play in Speed Duels. And I feel like people have never grasped this fully. And what I mean by that is, if this game eventually does reach the popularity that all of us really, really want it to, you know, and it actually has like a major following, like, let's just say it hits Duel Links level, right? It's not running the game, but it is a powerful side format that you can play that has actual, like big names like Billy Break and stuff like attributed to it. If this game gets that following, the cards that say Speed Duels on them immediately go up in price. And what I mean by that is, let's take Allure of Darkness for example, right? Powerful card in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! $3 to $4 common, $3 to $4 common in Speed Duels. But here's the difference between the Speed Duel one and the regular one. One of them says Speed Duels on it. So one of them can be played in all Yu-Gi-Oh! Formats except Speed Duels, and one of them can be played in all Yu-Gi-Oh! Formats plus Speed Duels. That one should arguably be worth more. I mean, right now, if you look at the market between regular Allure of Darkness and Speed Duel Allure of Darkness, you're looking at like $1 or $2 of a difference already, and I think it shows here better than with most, because the card is competitive in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! As it is in Speed Duels. Speed Duel cards will go up in price over the regular version, unless it's, you know, rarity bumped in a different rarity or something, solely based on the fact that it's also able to be played in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! So, like, I know people now come into the store all the time, and they're like, I need Heat Wave of all cards, right? Heat Wave. They want Heat Wave in their deck. And it's like, alright, we have the Starstrike Blast version, and we have the Speed Duel version. And everyone's like, I don't want the Speed Duel version, give me the Starstrike Blast one. But why, though? The Starstrike Blast one does not have problem-solving text, and cannot be used in Speed Duels. You don't even ever need to be playing Speed Duels. The whole point is, you could have the common from Speed Duels that has problem-solving card text over the original that doesn't have problem-solving card text, and also has this extra built-in ability to be played in a format that is unique to it alone that the other Heat Wave does not. Like, why would you not just buy the Heat Wave from Speed Duels versus the original Heat Wave from Starstrike Blast? Now, I get there's nostalgia, and it's Starstrike Blast, and Starstrike Blast cards tend to hold value, sure. But, like, I'm talking about cards that, like, don't really change in rarity. I consider rares and commons almost the exact same thing. I understand rares are a rarity bump, technically, but, like, in something like that case, I feel like you just go for the Speed Duels one instead. If Heat Wave was only an ultra rare and a common in Speed Duels, obviously you take the ultra rare, you take the foil version. That makes sense. But, like, if it's something like this, like Allure of Darkness, like Heat Wave, like Blue Dragon Summoner. Blue Dragon Summoner has 2 printings in Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sorry. Blue Dragon Summoner has 2 printings in Yu-Gi-Oh! Technically 3 with the demo edition. But there's the one from the Super Starter Space-Time Showdown, and there's the one from Speed Duel Dex Destiny Masters. The one from Space-Time Showdown is like $1, $1.50, And the one from Speed Duel Destiny Masters is like $1, $1.50, maybe a little bit more in the $2 range. But like, if you have to choose between one or the other, why wouldn't you buy the Speed Duel one? At the very worst, you never play it in Speed Duels, but it's more valuable, maybe not in money right now, but like it's more valuable in game mechanics, because if you want to trade it to somebody, they can either use it for regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Or they can use it for Speed Duels. But if you bought the other one, it's locked into regular Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's just it. You can't use this in Speed Duels. So you get no extra free value in the Speed Duels version of this than you do in the other one. Here's another perfect example. Ultra Rare DD Crow. Ultra Rare DD Crow comes in Speed Duel Decks Match of the Millennium, it comes in Duel Devastator, and it comes in the Legendary Collection Kaiba. All is ultra rare. All is not like super expensive ultra rare. It's not like, it's not like a tournament pack. They're all in like their own set things. But one of them says Speed Duels, and the other two do not. Duel Devastator is like, the cheap version, obviously. It's like $1, $1.50. Legendary Collection Kaiba, it's like $1.70, $1.50, $1.75, $2. And the Speed Duel one, this actually is a perfect example already, is $2.50 to $3.50 to about $4. And the reason there is because it also says Speed Duels. You are literally going to play the same thing 3 times over. 2 of which actually have updated PSCT, where it says Quick Effect instead of during either player's turn. Kaiba Collection says during either player's turn, but technically all 3 of them are PSCT. These 2 are only updated to the newest extent. But they all at least say banish. They all, do exactly what the card does. But this one says Speed Duels, and the other 2 don't. So this is a perfect example because the price has already jumped on this one higher than it has on these 2. If you're going for Ultra Rare DD Crow, if you're not trying to max rarity it, if you're not going for ulti or whatever, if you're gonna go for Ultra DD Crow, why would you not freely take this one? Because this one is able to be played in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! And Speed Duels, and these 2 are locked into regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Only and not Speed Duels. Literally perfect example. And I expect this type of thing to befold on like Heatwave and Allure and stuff like that going forward, because one can be used in all formats of Yu-Gi-Oh! And one can only be used in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Another example, Thousand Eyes Restrict. Sees a lot of play, saw more play when Instant Fusion was at 3 in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! But of course now it's at 1, but still sees play nonetheless. Speed Duel, common, about $2. Legendary Duelist Season 1 reprint, common, about $1. Legendary Duelist Ancient Millennium, about $1. And because I say a rare is basically common, Duelist Pack Rivals of the Pharaoh, $1, $1.50. Which would you rather have? I'd rather have this $2 one. I'll pay the extra 50 cents for this one because it says Speed Duels. Because over time, when is this gonna get a reprint? It says Speed Duels, when is it gonna get a reprint? If Speed Duels takes off, Speed Duels popularity goes off, or just you want to have the card because it says Speed Duels so you can in fact play it if you ever play Speed Duels, this is the one to own if you're gonna own commons / rares. If you're not trying to get foils for your regular Yu-Gi-Oh deck, this is the one to own. You want this one. This is the definitive copy because it says Speed Duels on it, and these ones don't. I feel like people have picked up on this finally because like it shows. Like Tune Table of Contents is a card that always sees play here and there in regular Yu-Gi-Oh. It last saw big play in Sky Striker because it just fueled your graveyard with spell cards. Match of Millennium common, Speed Duels, $2, $1.50, right? Now, in this case, there's actually 2 other Speed Duel variants of this. But we'll go over those in a second. Legendary Collection 3, Yugi's World, $1.50, right? Dark Beginning 2. Now, this is a little bit older, so I can understand this one having more value because it's old and it's iconic. So, I can expect this to hold a little bit higher value. There are only 3 listings, by the way, for Near Mint. I guess if you unclick Near Mint, there's a lot of played ones. But 3 only Near Mints on TCG at like $2. So I expect that one to hold a little more. Duelist Pack Battle City, $1, $1.50. Speed Duel, here's another one. Speed Duel Destiny Masters, $1.50. This was a little bit more, but then this one got, not that one. then this one got a reprint, Match of the Millennium. So it's funny though, because the reprint came out and the reprint is already more than the original. But the only reason I'd say that these two get outclassed is because there's a Speed Duel Tournament Pack 1 Toon Table of Contents that comes as a foil. It's a super rare. So this brings up another interesting topic, because if we hit view all items here for Toon Table of Contents, right? You have the Super TP6, we're not arguing this. This is obviously the best one you get if you max out rarity. We have the Gold Rare. If you prefer Gold Rare over regular Supers or Ultras, then you go Gold Rare. A lot of people I know don't like Gold Rare, so they'd want to go for Supers. And on that logic, you have the Super Rare from Speed Duel Tournament Pack, and you have the Super Rare from Dark Saviors. In this situation, I think as long as you're not going Gold Rare and you're not going to try to go for the Tournament Pack one, the most anticipated foil version of Toon Table of Contents is, surprisingly enough, the Speed Duel Tournament Pack 1 version, which is only currently $1 to $1.50. This is something worth picking up. Like, unless they give it a rarity bump and they make it like ultra rare and something in like a Battles of Legend or whatever, like this is the foil version you go for if you're not trying to either, again, maximize profits on a TP or get a Gold Rare. This is the one you go for, simply because it says Speed Duels on it. Like, Dasa's Dark Saviors version is like $1.50, $1 to $1.50 as well, but it doesn't say Speed Duels, so it's technically inferior to this one. And because you can play this in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Like you can with all other Speed Duel cards, at the very worst, you just own a Speed Duel version of a foil Toon Table of Contents. You're still gonna play it in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! But at the very worst, if you don't need it for Yu-Gi-Oh! And you want to trade it or sell it or something in the future, it says Speed Duels, so you can then use it. You can't use this one. So you would play the Speed Duels version. Like, it just, there's no arguments here. Like, you just pick up the Speed Duel versions. Here's another one with Summoner's Art, which is like 50 cents to $1, but like, there's other reprints of this in Speed Duels. There's also a super rare Speed Duels version, which comes back on my note of things like Max Rarity, Summoner's Art, Super Rare Astral Pack, Super Rare Pivo, or Super Rare Tournament Pack from Speed Duels. I'd rather take this one. It says Speed Duels on the card, and it's $2. That's like the same price as these. Actually, is this $2? Yeah, this is $2. This is a little bit more. Those are light play. So yeah, I give it time. I expect this one to overtake this one's price simply because of the word Speed Duels are on the card. Obviously, this is cheaper because it's Pendulum Evolution. This set didn't really go over too well anyway. I mean, they're almost $1 though. But even still, like, this to me is the definitive Summoner's Art out of every single Summoner's Art, unless you have that Tactical Evolution Secret Rare misprint, where it's like it's a rare, but the name is Secret Rare. Outside of that, this is the definitive one to grab, the Super Rare Speed Duels one. So guys, I'm sure you get my point by now. Speed Duel cards, like cards that just say Speed Duels on them, that have like similar rarities and or prices to those that exist in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel ones should, over time, probably trump the regular ones in price. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. This is an interesting topic to talk about. I'm just surprised, like, more prices haven't followed suit, but I feel like it's something that a lot of people just don't really think about. But yeah, these are all accessible in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! As well as Speed Duels, whereas their counterparts are not allowed in Speed Duels, just regular Yu-Gi-Oh! So, something to think about, something to, you know, look at the market, like double take a few cards and be like, yeah, for example, like Summoner's Art seems like worth picking up the Speed Duel versions instead of the regular. But let me know in the comments down below what you think, if you like, love, or disagree completely with my thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys later.